of Kenya's most iconic animals are under attack.
You have people who are targeting to poach rhinos and elephants.
It's a battle with heartbreaking collateral damage.
So the little one, the mothers were killed by poachers.
As poachers become more sophisticated, those protecting the animals turn high-tech.
It's pointing right at us.
It's a dangerous job. You are following somebody who is armed. If he see you, he will just shoot you.
It's another busy week for the staff at Lewa Wildlife Conservancy. For almost 30 years, this has been a rare sight here on the slopes of Mount Kenya. But today, it is becoming more common. Africa is once again at war with poachers.
You have people who are targeting to poach rhinos and elephants. And these are the people that we are fighting with. That's a huge, huge challenge to us. It's a dangerous job. You are following somebody who is armed with an AK-47, and you know definitely that person, if he see you, he will just shoot you.
Elephant and rhino have walked the earth for nearly 50 million years. Now they are in urgent danger. In less than the lifespan of a single animal, both have been pushed to the brink of extinction by another species, humans. In effect, we are at war with ourselves for their survival. In the last poaching crisis in the 1980s, 80% of the elephants and 90% of the rhinos were brutally slaughtered. The elephants for their ivory, which was used in decorative carvings. The rhino for their horn, used in traditional Asian medicines. It took aggressive anti-poaching action, bolstered by a worldwide ban on the sale of both ivory and rhino horn, to bring an end to the slaughter. But a renewed global black market has once again put Africa on the front lines.
When you are talking of rhino poaching, that is a syndicate. You have the main dealers, and you have the brokers between, and then you have the gunmen, the people on the ground. Those are the people who can kill these animals. They are the poor people. They are people who are being killed. So what I can just tell the poachers, don't risk yourself, because we will bring all the technology that we can bring to stop the poaching.
This is where Kenya's Lewa Conservancy comes into play. Sitting in the shadow of Mount Kenya, it covers a modest area, just twice the size of Paris. Lewa is dedicated to protecting critically endangered animals. To ensure the rhino and elephant safety, the Conservancy is fenced in on several sides. On the front lines of the fight is Lewa's team of armed rangers who put their lives on the line to ensure these species don't disappear on their watch. The team at Lewa knows that the battle against poaching can't just be fought on the front lines as an armed conflict. The only way these animals will survive is to change the perception of ordinary people on a global scale. That these animals deserve a safe and free place in the wild. If they fail, these animals will go extinct.
This rhino, it was shot dead by somebody within our village. Our main question is, are we happy to see skeletons of animals, or are we happy to see animals feeding, suckling their young ones? That is my question.
A single gunshot from a poacher has enormous ramifications. When a mother is killed, the babies are left alive. In the wild, they are extremely vulnerable, unable to take care of themselves, and will quickly die or be killed. However, orphaned animals from all over Kenya get a second chance at Lewa.
This one 23 months, and this one 17 months, and all boys. The little one, the mothers were killed by poachers. Lewa. Hop. Hop.
Few conservancies have the capabilities or the resources to care for them. It is a labor-intensive, expensive, long-term commitment. Lewa has caregivers who look after and protect these young rhinos 24 hours a day. The rhinos are assigned a caregiver. The young rhino imprint on the rangers, who effectively become their surrogate mothers. They will teach them the skills they need to become wild rhinos again. It's ironic that their lives now depend on the species that put them in this predicament.
So we walked around 1 kilometer every day.
Their day mimics life in the wild, getting used to the new terrain and covering important tasks like personal hygiene.
The climate is getting hot now, so the rhinos are going to have a mud bath. We actually have to take them once a day. Rhinos, they don't have sweat glands, so they cool the body temperatures down, and also there is some parasites like ticks. So when they cover their body by the mud, and later on they just rub against the tree to remove the ticks off.
And hope you can release after 4 to 5 years.
Raising a rhino here at Lewa is a balancing act. These are not pets. Keeping baby rhinos tame to protect them is not a solution. It requires tremendous resources to keep a captive animal, especially ones that can live into their 40s. And it's imperative they be returned to the wild to enrich the gene pool. The rangers know they will be releasing their little charges into a world fraught with dangers, and that includes danger from poachers. It's frustrating to them. Poaching is a human problem, and it has to be stopped by humans. Lewa's successful rhino program is great news for conservation efforts. But it's put the Conservancy and its staff into a much more dangerous situation.
When I started here, in terms of rhinos, that was less than 20 rhinos. As we speak today, we have 135 rhinos. There have been a lot of challenges, moving from security-wise from less than 20 security to 150 security.
Okay, so Charlie, we are coming back.
The Rangers are armed with military-grade weapons, but anti-poaching at Lewa is not an offensive tool. It's meant to deter poachers, and especially locals, who are often recruited by gangs with the promise of a big payday. That could be more money than they'd see in a year. So when Head Ranger John Pomeri is looking for new rangers, he looks to the local communities.
In terms of recruitment in Lewa, when we're recruiting people, we target the communities around here.
A steady job and a solid income can mean one less person tempted by the poaching money, and one more convert to seeing healthy rhino and elephant populations as a resource for the community worth protecting. In Kenya, wildlife conservancies like Lewa have one central mission: to provide a safe habitat for the world's most vulnerable and endangered creatures. And now they are dealing with their most serious challenge. With demand for illegal ivory and rhino horns skyrocketing in Asia, poaching is at its worst level in over 30 years. The government of Kenya is taking this crisis very seriously. It has imposed stiff penalties for wildlife crimes. The government works closely with Lewa and several other conservancies in the region. They have partnered up to create an elite rapid response team. The team is capable of dealing with the growing threat, not just to the conservancy, but all across northern Kenya. It is well armed, well trained, and very well equipped. The goal for this elite unit is not to engage and destroy the enemy on the front lines in an all-out war. The hope is that through a show of force, they can deter poachers completely. But all the arms in the world can't beat basic economics. Ounce for ounce, rhino horn is worth more than gold in the underground market. In a country where poverty is a major issue, poaching pays 6 months' salary for a single day's work. All you need is a gun and an opportunity. There are many people who are willing to risk their lives for that equation. With severe penalties for poaching rhino or elephants, the poachers are desperate not to get caught. They won't hesitate to kill a ranger, and that desperation adds another level of danger.
We have different firearms here. This one is from the government, being issued to our armed teams.
The elite team members don't have backgrounds in the military, but they have outside partners who provide regular training. The Kenyan government has accepted help from the British forces, who have sent experts to help train the rangers on advanced engagement and capture techniques. Tonight's exercise will include the latest in aerial and ground technology.
You know, the poaching gangs are becoming ever more sophisticated with the money that's involved in it. Through the 90s, there was a relatively quiet period. That now has escalated dramatically because of the escalation in the price of rhino horn in the Far East and the demand there. So it's been about as bad as it's ever been these last 4 or 5 years.
Let's just bring the scope back a bit.
We'll head off that way and then cut back this way.
Happy hunting?
Just do watch your feet.
Sam, a training specialist, leads a small team, playing the role of poachers. They'll emulate the real thing. Skilled, fast, and difficult to catch.
The poachers appear to be incredibly fast at getting a horn off, which is why this training is so important, that it's hopefully keeping us one step ahead of the game.
In this exercise, the poaching team stays put as long as it would take for a poacher to cut off a rhino horn.
And What we're going to do is fire off a few shots as though we were cutting off a horn, and then move out as though unaware that we have been located. Yeah, okay, go. Pass. There's the various teams here. They'll try and pinpoint it, and now they're going to try. They're in the process of setting up ambushes. Okay, we're going to start moving west now. Okay, guys, we're going to move on.
Once a shot is fired, it will take an average of about 40 minutes to escape the conservancy. An eternity for the poacher. The blink of an eye for the ranger team.
Right! Cameraman, you follow Rickon.
We're just carrying on, heading sort of north.
They look for cover. But the point of this exercise is to provide no place to hide.
Okay, guys. They've got the laser on us now.
The use of the chopper provides a strong advantage. It can pinpoint the enemy, follow them, and communicate their position to the ground crew.
It's pointing right at us, so the guys can see a beam from further away.
With an aircraft, they can push the poachers to an ambush, making it easier for the rangers on the ground to nab them.
You're right after.
As a bonus, the shock and awe factor sends a clear signal for miles. Lewa's defenses are active. The poachers in this exercise are taken alive, which is an important tactic. If one of the poachers is killed, then another one will simply take his place. But if taken alive, they could lead the investigation to the middleman.
I got a blank right in the ear. Good. They did really well. It was good. It was all well organised.
If under pressure, poachers have two options: make a run for it or wait and hide. If they choose to hide, even a helicopter may not be able to find them. For that scenario, Lewa also has a less high-tech solution.
We have these two bloodhounds here, and they assist in tracking poachers. In the course of their duties, they work in park environments.
Like their human counterparts, these dogs require constant honing of their skills.
Today we are doing an exercise with the tracker dogs. We are going to set a poacher first, and then we are going to track and also test the dogs. Every day you have to use a new person because, you know, for the dogs, it has to get used to different scent, because if you use the same person for every day, it will be the same scent. And after putting the harness on, the dog will realize it's working time now.
Bloodhounds were originally bred as deer hunting dogs, but they are equally apt at tracking humans. With 200 million olfactory receptors, compared to 5 million for humans, these dogs are built for one specific task, and they don't disappoint. As part of the exercise, a scouting plane will try to provoke the poachers.
I've seen the aeroplane. Yes.
If anyone gets in their way, poachers often make the mistake of firing their weapons in an attempt to intimidate. But this only draws the dogs in. And then it's just a matter of time. These poachers can walk away. But Lewa's most valuable domestic species is ready for the real thing. It's another busy day at Kenya's Lewa Conservancy. In this current climate of aggressive poaching, rangers constantly monitor the welfare of all the Conservancy's endangered animals.
Okay, sasa.
A report has come in that a young elephant has entered the Conservancy with a wire snare around its leg. It's of great concern to Head Ranger Chilimo. He has called in the Kenyan Wildlife Service Mobile Vet Unit based at Lewa. This elephant is lucky that it was spotted by rangers. If it had not walked into the Conservancy and right past the rangers, it is likely the snare would not have been reported. The wire would have dug into the elephant's leg, creating a painful infection. Untreated, the young elephant would have died an agonizing death. The drug won't put the animal to sleep. It will just immobilize it so the team can work safely. The team is lucky. Even though these elephants are wild, they're habituated and don't mind the vehicles.
So we are just preparing a dart to immobilize an elephant to remove a snare on its right hind foot. We have to remove it because it will tighten as it goes along. And it can even cause very serious wounds.
The vet team begins to push the mother off. The risk to the team is enormous. Nothing is more dangerous than getting between a wild elephant and her baby. The elephant is now down. The mother looks on. She is confused and agitated, but is holding back at a distance. But at any moment, her instincts could kick in and she could charge the team.
They're just about 200 meters from us.
It remains a volatile situation. The wire is removed. It turns out to be a piece of fence wrapped around the baby's leg, and not a poacher snare. It's good news, but still poses the same danger to the animal, so it was crucial it was removed.
So we are not going to keep her any longer.
The Kenyan wildlife vet administers the antidote.
But it's okay, it looks stable. I'm sure they're waiting.
The little elephant begins to come around. After a moment to get its orientation, it shakes off the drug and goes back to its family. The group moves on. Back at the headquarters, their elephant troubles continue. An urgent call comes in. The details are sketchy. They're told that an elephant has been shot and severely injured in a village 3 hours outside of the conservancy. A full elite team is dispatched. Once they're outside the boundaries of the conservancy, all bets are off. They have to be prepared for anything. For Kenyan Wildlife Service head vet Matthew Mutinda, it's a different story. His concern is for the animal.
We are going to investigate and decide the course of action. If it's a treatable case, we're going to fix it.
As they approach, the mood gets somber. A Kenyan Wildlife Service Ranger unit is waiting for them. They lead Matthew to the elephant. This is where the elephant was shot. It collapsed here and crawled to where it now lays. This is everyone's worst fear. The elephant is in agony.
The guys just had a shot yesterday, and they came to investigate the shot, and they found an elephant.
Even for Matthew and the team who are used to seeing animals in distress, this is an awful experience.
Okay.
Matthew will have to make a quick decision.
Na tukipindua hata pande ile hawezi amuka. The animal is obviously suffering on its welfare. It's in a lot of pain, and you can clearly see where there's an entry wound. Sasa unajua ukiamua kupiga utapiga. But kama kuna kitu vile siko.
For Matthew, the decision is obvious. It won't be a happy ending.
It's terrible. It's terrible. It's bad enough. It's broken. It's really badly hurt. Unfortunately, we have to pull it down, but we can't show it on camera. It's got to be done in respect for the animal, and we have to request now. You guys have to leave so that we can do that.
For Chalimo, this is a terrible irony.
GPS?
He came here to save an animal, but will now have to kill one to end its suffering. However, before he does, the animal succumbs to its injuries. The rangers see death of animals on a regular basis, but this does not make this any easier for them. They take the loss to heart. With the agony of the animal over, the job now shifts to an investigation. Rangers learn the shooter is from the community, and they want to question him. The death of an elephant is taken very seriously in Kenya. If this is poaching, the shooter could face life in prison. Unfortunately, there is more bad news. The team from Lewa learns the elephant had a young baby. In the hours after the mother was shot, the baby was left unprotected and vulnerable. It was killed and eaten by hyenas this morning. It's tragic to think that although gravely wounded, she managed to outlive her baby. In a wildlife conservancy like Kenya's Lewa, there are a lot of good days when efforts to protect endangered wildlife are rewarded by the beautiful quiet of an African plain. But today has not been one of those days.
I was ready to euthanize the animal because it was in pain on welfare grounds, and before I did that, the animal died.
Even for the veterans, this was a tough one. Now it's time to get to the bottom of what happened.
Okay.
Penalties for poaching in Kenya are severe. In this case, the shooter is not denying he shot the animal, but claims it was self-defense.
It's hard to say until you do a post-mortem and retrieve a bullet.
It's tough to know what his intentions were. The facts are that several community members responded to the gunshot and reported it to authorities. But the shooter did not make any attempt to report it himself. So, they're left with the question, is the shooter telling the truth? Or did he simply come across an elephant and decide to take advantage? The rangers fear this opportunistic shooting represents a growing trend in poaching in Kenya. These one-off shooters know they can access low-level brokers, who then supply more organized poaching rings to move the ivory out.
Maybe each town you have a broker. The other people that are just sitting waiting to be delivered.
If they get caught, the penalty means serious jail time. But still, some feel that the financial windfall is worth the risk.
Most of the time, it's so difficult to get. In terms of arresting, you might not be able to arrest somebody red-handed.
If they are not caught in the act, they can return under the cover of darkness to remove the tusks. Unfortunately, this is not a clear-cut case and will likely take months to go through the court. KWS vet Matthew Mutinda is about to carry out a forensic post-mortem on the animal. The bullet needs to be retrieved to make sure it corroborates with the shooter's story and matches the weapon used. If not, there could be others involved.
In the process of doing the post-mortem, I was able to retrieve a projectile. We do not have any indication where the bullet would have come from, and investigations are going to go on.
The rangers now must face the grim task of removing the tusks. Unlike detusking, where a section of the tusk is removed, here the tusks, which extend deep into the skull, must be cut out. The ivory will be sent to Nairobi, where it will be placed in an ivory strong room. What will happen to them long-term is unknown. Kenya has a history of burning illegal ivory, but with stockpiles being worth millions of dollars, some countries are hesitant to destroy them. There is some debate that governments should sell these as legal ivory, cutting down the illegal black market trade and sending the profits back into conservation. The elephant carcass will be left where it fell. It is likely the community will return to retrieve the meat. The rest will be left to scavengers. This experience points to another important element in the ongoing fight to protect wildlife, convincing people who have so little that wildlife is worth far more to them alive than dead. As part of its mission, Lewa is working with the local people to get them to see wildlife, and particularly the dollars that come from tourism, as an asset. It starts in the schools.
We have some animals that people have never seen and they wish to see today. Tell me the difference between a black and white rhino.
These students rarely see or interact with wild animals like elephant or rhino, so they have no connection to the species. Lewa is working to change that.
So is this one a black or white rhino? White rhino. We're saying that white rhinos have a very big mouth, a very big head. The world has very few rhinos, and rhinos have been killed by human beings in search of the horns. How can we protect the animals? Is there anything that we can do? Most of the people that kill the animals, do they come from China to Lewa? The people that kill come from our neighborhood. So we need to inform them, we need to teach them, we also need to report.
Tukisikia mtu ameonekana, nyinyi ndio macho ya Lewa tukiwa. Sasa mifupa ya wanyama, who can guess which animal is this? Rhino, very good. This is a rhino skeleton, and we assembled the skeleton. It was shot dead by somebody within our village. And our main question is, are we happy to see skeletons of animals, or are we happy to see animals feeding, suckling their young ones? That is my question.
Education is just one piece of reaching out to the community and showing the benefits of conservation.
All of us have touched computers today, but not every child or not every school in this country have an access to the computer, and therefore the computers that we have today is all gotten from the animals that we are seeing today.
At the nearby Kilimani school, Lewa's assistance has made a major difference.
Before the intervention of Lewa, there was almost nothing in the school compound. There were old structures, there was nothing good in place. We were not secure. We feel as if the classrooms are going to fall on us. Lewa did great things for us. They started with the toilets and the school fence. The standard of hygiene has been improved. Minor elements like skin rashes are almost eradicated in our school, and we appreciate. It is because of wild animals that we are given these beautiful facilities. This has improved the life of this community, the life of my children.
On-site healthcare is another cornerstone of helping local people connect the dots. If their lives are good, it gives them the reasons to avoid the lure of the poacher's money.
We are here to offer them medical services and do the deworming to the young children. Lewa sponsors this program for giving the community medical services. It's very helpful for us to come to them because for them to walk to the district hospital, which is 59 kilometers from this place. Yeah, it's very far away. Every Friday we make sure we go to at least one village to offer them the outreach services, whereby we offer them medical services. The ones we can't manage, we take them with the ambulance, either to Lepara or to Lewa.
For the rangers of Lewa, the renewed poaching crisis is just a small part of their job. The rest of their time, it is rather routine, spent on the Conservancy grounds, tracking and monitoring the ever-growing rhino population. Under their care, the rhino population is thriving. Since its inception in 1983, Lewa's rhinos have grown from a handful to about 140 animals. The program has been so successful that Lewa has been able to contribute more than 30 rhinos to other conservancies for their breeding programs. And now they have a new addition to the rhino family, a 28-day-old male baby black rhino.
This boy was abandoned by her mother. He abandoned him overnight. They stood with the baby till morning. The rangers went and they came with him to the boma.
Elias is one of 4 rangers who will share the duties of being the new rhino's surrogate mother.
Yeah, this guy is now like my kid. When I go back to my village, I talk about the baby rhinos, how I stay there during the day, overnight. So I give stories. They think they see it's a very funny story.
It will guide this little charge through the first 5 years of its life. Their goal is to teach him enough so he can become a wild rhino again. They will have help. Khalifi, this little rhino's biological brother, is here. He too was abandoned shortly after birth and has been under the care of the rangers. The baby imprinted over the first few days and now accepts the rangers as its surrogate mother. He remains close by their side 24 hours a day. Raising a baby rhino is a big commitment. It's a lot like raising a human child. The rangers are up early to make breakfast before waking up their charges. In the wild, a baby rhino will stay close to his mother for the first 3 years. And so the rangers simulate that. These rangers will be with this little guy for the next 5 years. For this short while, the rangers will sleep beside the rhino in this specially prepared shelter so they can be sure the baby stays safe and dry. It will stay there for the first 6 or 8 months of its life until it's big enough to join the other young rhinos. And they'll be together until the rhino is about 5, when it is ready to be introduced back into the wild. Like his brother, he will need to learn everything from the rangers. A wild male rhino has to know how to mark his territory and defend it. So the lessons for that skill start right away. Rhinos also need to be taught how to care for themselves. Their tough skin attracts ticks, and so this little guy needs to be taught the value of a good mud bath and other grooming routines. At night, the rangers bring the young rhinos back to the enclosure for another round of hand feeding.
Hop, hop. Neck. 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 Neck.
At just 1 month, this little rhino is still very dependent, and so it's back to the sleeping structure with one of the rangers for a cozy sleep. For the rangers caring for these little rhinos, it's a 24-hour-a-day job. And that reflects the level of commitment that all of Lewa's rangers bring to their job of protecting wildlife. While they see the worst deaths from illegal poaching, this part of their work is a reminder of the real joy that comes from this deep connection with this incredible species. And it underlines the need for all the work that goes on at Lewa. Whether it's conducting research to make sure the range for these animals is protected, to fostering community support for wildlife through education, medical care, and job creation, the staff at Lewa have had real successes so far. But there's still much more that needs to be done. And for the rangers who do everything from becoming surrogate mothers to performing like a small military in the face of renewed rampant poaching, the work doesn't stop. At Lewa, protecting wildlife is not just a job. It's a way of life.
When I see like 20 rhinos and today I see 35 rhinos, and I know definitely we can make it thousands of rhinos. We can make it 100,000 of rhinos in this country. So I'm just warning the people, the poachers, that to stop poaching, and we can turn this country to become something better than today. But if they don't do that, we are there to fight with them.
One of the rarest animals on the planet is under attack.
It's a fight. It's a real big fight.
An unknown predator is targeting the Grevy zebras.
These are some of the bites.
The fight to save the species is on. But is it too late?
You need to act sooner rather than leaving it to the point where it's so late that you can't recover the species.
The battle stretches north to the edge of the desert.
Here comes a standstill.
Where the zebras face their biggest threat.
There's only one place to get water.
Humans.
It's just a highway for cattle.
The Grevy zebra is the largest wild member of the equid family. That includes zebras and horses. And unlike the more common plain zebra, these beautiful animals are on the endangered list. The Grevies once roamed over an area of Africa that ranged from central Eritrea to Ethiopia and Somalia. But now the few thousand individuals remaining are concentrated in southern Ethiopia and northern Kenya. In Kenya, the protection of endangered species is taken very seriously. The government partners with wildlife conservancies like Lewa and its sister facility, Old Pejeta, to protect those at risk. This is a critical time for many species. Increasing demands of human populations is causing a rapid loss of habitat and resources. And there is a more sinister problem. Organized illegal poaching syndicates are hunting species to the point of extinction. Illegal poaching has already driven the western black rhino out of existence. and other species are just hanging on. This is the northern white rhino. It is the rarest species on Earth. There are only 5 animals left, 2 in zoos and 3 at Kenya's Old Pejeta Conservancy.
In front of us, we have Sudan. Sudan is 42 years old, and Sudan is the only male remaining in the whole world.
The reason the northern white rhino in particular has gone extinct in the wild is because it tended to exist in those areas of Africa which are poorly policed and have been subject to civil war. Furthermore, those are areas where tourism has never been important. So there's never been a kind of economic incentive to try to look after those species.
At the turn of the 20th century, there were hundreds of thousands of northern white rhino. But sport hunters took their numbers down considerably. When sport hunting ended, rampant and ruthless poaching for rhino horn took over.
Rhinos have been killed by poachers because of their horns. At the time back, there was a civil war, so people took an advantage of killing most of them.
In the case of the northern white rhino, that slaughter was so complete that only a single population survived in Garamba National Park in the Congo.
We tried to remove 10 animals from the Garamba National Park in the Democratic Republic of the Congo 10 years ago, and that was stopped for whatever reason. But the bottom line is that as a result of it being stopped, the number of animals remaining became so low that now to recover that species is almost impossible.
With Congo embroiled in a violent civil war, the only safe place for the northern white rhinos was in zoos. By the early 2000s, there were only 8 left in the world, all in captivity. In 2009, an international coalition moved 4 from a zoo in the Czech Republic to Kenya's Old Pejeta Conservancy. The plan was to reintroduce them to the wild. The hope was that the rhinos would do what they wouldn't in the zoo: breed.
The idea was to bring them into a more natural environment in the hope that that would lead to their breeding.
There was a lot of hype, a lot of publicity about them coming out, what their future was.
There have been repeated matings, but unfortunately no successful pregnancy.
To make matters worse, one of the 2 males at Old Pejeta died of natural causes.
There is now only 1 male left in the world. All the other males have died.
That male is Sudan. He is now 42, and with a life expectancy of 50, the hopes for the northern white rhino are fading.
Yeah, you need to act sooner rather than leaving it to the point where it's so late that you can't recover the species. And that's exactly what's happened with the northern white rhinos. But the bottom line is, what is happening to the northern white rhinos is a signal to what is happening to our stewardship of the planet from an environmental perspective. There are many, many species now which are going extinct at a rapid rate. And that's all to do with human overexploitation and poor management of the environment.
Right now, 1 in 4 mammals, 1 in 8 birds, and 1/3 of all amphibians are endangered. The question now is, with all of humans' capabilities and technology, do we have the ability to save a species from the brink of extinction? Can lessons from the northern white rhino be applied to other species facing the same fate? To the north of Old Pejeta is Lewa Wildlife Conservancy, home to one of the most overlooked endangered species, the Grevy zebra. The Grevy is the majestic cousin to the more common plain zebra. The species has specifically adapted to the dry, arid conditions of northern Kenya. In just 20 years, 50% of the species has been wiped out. The major reason, human competition for land and water. They currently number between 1,300 and 3,000. The most significant population is at Lewa.
Lewa itself holds about 10 to 13% of the remaining population of wild Grevy zebra left alive. So it's a very important population in terms of a seed population, a nucleus population, and a significant part of what's left.
Lewa is a protected conservancy with a range of species, including some of Africa's iconic predators. But having those species in a relatively small space can lead to problems. The Conservancy opened a protective fence to give the animals more room to roam. But it is unknown if the zebra have moved into their new home. So to find out, the team are about to carry out an aerial census of the new territory.
So we're blanketing the landscape, including some community conservancies to the north and another wildlife conservancy, Rhino Wildlife Conservancy, to the west. These are apparently rated to
To do this, they will fly a transect pattern back and forth across the landscape.
And so he lines up his eye with this streamer and he knows that that's the limit of his count. And we're getting what's called a minimum total count.
They fly transect after transect. But they find only plain zebra, the more common variety. Dejected, the team heads back to Lewa.
We didn't actually see any Grevies, but a lot of plain zebras. Yeah. So what that means is where they've dropped the fence now between the two properties, it's still not being used as a thoroughfare for Grevies.
The Lewa Conservancy has an important population of Grevy zebra. This largest wild member of the horse family is on the endangered list. In the last 40 years, the population has dropped over 80%. The well-armed ranger team at Lewa is working to protect the species in the hopes that it will rebuild its numbers. But in the last few months, rangers have been finding a concerning number of dead Grevies. The research department's Ian Lamayan is heading out to investigate a Grevy that has been killed in what seems like unusual circumstances.
Yeah.
The animal had died in shallow water. The cause of death is not immediately apparent. It looks like the animal was attacked by a predator and then sought refuge in the water. But to know for sure, they need to take a closer look at the carcass.
We are trying to get this Grevy out of the water.
Lewa has all of Africa's top predators, including hyenas, cheetahs, and lions. But in this particular case, hyena can be ruled out because they'll go right into the water to feed. Whatever killed this zebra stopped at the shoreline.
It's sad that we are losing them like this, but predators also have to survive. So it's just nature. This was one male that was treated before. These are some of the bites. He'd been attacked by a lion before, and unfortunately this time they got him. It'd been worked on before by a vet. The blue stuff is alamycin. You use it as an antibiotic. Yeah, if it was a plains zebra, it would be a little bit easier because there are very many in number compared to the Grevies. The Grevies, we're trying to see them grow. It's a fight. It's a real big fight. Yeah, let's wrap this up. Santi bana, kazi mzuri.
Ian has his answers, and so the dead zebra is left to fulfill one last role in this environment. It's left for the scavengers. He believes that lions are taking down the Grevies, and this is a dilemma for the conservationists at Lewa. Lions are also a threatened species in Kenya. So how does the Conservancy manage needs of one species over another? Before any decision can be made, Ian needs to know more about who's doing the killing. To monitor lion prides, females in each of the prides have GPS collars that track their movements. Ian is hoping that the data will help them confirm whether the lions are behind this rash of Grevy's killings.
It is important to take a look at what they're eating and also see whether it's a problem.
When predators make a kill, they stay in one spot for a few days. These are called cluster points, and they can tell Ian a lot.
Here is an example of a lion going on this eastern side of the Conservancy. So the GPS directs us to exactly where that point is. So we put the coordinates of that, X marks the spot. Going to look at the locations that we're going to visit. It's going to be Sambara Mlimanugu area. I hope we find something.
By visiting the cluster points, they hope to find evidence of what Lewa's lions have been killing. Even though he's out on a research mission, Ian takes backup.
We have to have an armed ranger with us so that we can be safe.
For staff working in the field, predators are their least concern. The bigger worry are prey species that are always alert to any perceived threat.
Be careful of buffaloes. Manimali walikuwa siku ile tukiwaonea pale.
Elephant, black rhino, and especially the Cape buffalo will attack with deadly force if they feel threatened by the people.
This is the first cluster point, and we're looking for any signs of a carcass or a kill. It's a kill site. It's a kill site. You can see maggots inside the zebra. This is definitely a zebra. We can't know which type of zebra it was because everything has been eaten up. We can't tell which type of zebra it is at the moment.
The maggots indicate this carcass is relatively fresh, 3 to 4 days old. The carcass is almost entirely consumed and has been scattered across a wide area.
But also we can see that
Ian finds further proof.
So this was a Grevy.
A small fragment of Grevy's skin is all he needs.
So we're moving on to the next one.
Back at headquarters, Ian monitors lion movements to see if they match Grevy's kills. A pattern is beginning to emerge. Whoever is doing the killing has been targeting the Grevies. Although predators are often opportunists, some individuals like to specialize. The reason is often terrain or behavior of the prey species. Unlike the common zebra, Grevy's herds are dominated by a single male that control a territory and the females in it. The Grevy males often battle with each other for dominance. It's a lot of work that sometimes leaves them exhausted or preoccupied and vulnerable to predators. The cluster points all point to a specific part of the Conservancy, but the kill numbers are high for the small pride. Ian is looking for the pride's collared female. Her movements will give him the answers he needs. The electronic tracking collar is incredibly valuable. Lions can easily hide in these grasses.
We're just trying to find a lion. So she's very elusive. You need to look for footprints. You need to look for anything that has a golden glow on the grass, because lions usually give that in the morning hours. Oh, if she's in the vicinity, we'll just hear a beeping sound. We're getting a signal. Oh, sawa.
Ian finds what he is looking for.
Awesome. We got him.
Things become clearer when they find the female. She is not killing for herself. She is feeding a growing pride. Ian has found the perpetrator behind the rash of Grevy's killings. The conservation of endangered species is challenging enough for wildlife stakeholders. But at Kenya's Lewa Wildlife Conservancy, they are contending with a complicated circumstance. One endangered species is targeting and killing another. A female lioness with cubs has been specializing in killing the rare and endangered Grevy zebra to feed her pride. Since lions are also an endangered species, the solution has to be considered carefully. They could relocate the lioness to a conservancy without Grevy zebras. But the fact she has cubs makes that potentially too difficult. Also, they realize there is another problem.
She has a very tight collar.
The tight collar may be contributing to her hunting of Grevies. It may be that it's restricting her movements. Instead of roaming, she's staying in one place where the Grevies happen to be easy pickings.
We observed it. Through predator monitoring, we usually look at each individual, each lion, how they're doing. And if you see that the performance of the animal is not okay, then you must do something about it.
The GPS collar that researchers put on her 3 years ago to track her movements has become so tight that if she grows any more, the collar will strangle her to death. Now they have to sort this problem out. So, the Kenyan Wildlife Vet Unit is dispatched immediately.
We were with him in the morning.
To do the job, they'll have to dart her with a tranquilizer so they can safely work on her. That job will be done by veterinarian Bernard Rhino.
If the cubs were younger, it would be, we would not dart it. But now the cubs are slightly bigger and they're in a group with another female, so the cubs will be taken care of.
The drug takes effect, the vet team drives off the pride so they can work on her in safety.
Wameenda wote? Melala huyu. Hana shida. Alale kabisa.
Alo? Ni tuashiona.
Alale hivi.
The drug only immobilizes the lioness. She is fully conscious. The towel over her eyes is to minimize stress.
So you can just fit it.
The collar is still working well and providing vital information, so they just need to make it larger.
Kwa nini tusikate hii? Ndio? Sasa. Iko sawa. Okay. So we are just checking that the teeth are still okay. She can still hunt. They are still very sharp, not broken.
Bernard notices this female's stomach is large and slightly swollen.
She has a distended stomach, just to be sure that she's not pregnant.
He concludes she is not pregnant, just full of Grevy.
The good thing is that she looks well fed and she's not hungry at all, so I think she's very okay. So I'll just give the antidote. So we have about 5 minutes before she wakes up.
As her cubs anxiously look on from a safe distance, the vet team will stay until the lioness is back up on her feet and they're sure she's okay. Now that they've loosened her collar, they hope that she will expand her range and go after other prey. But if she keeps targeting the zebras, some tough choices will have to be made in the future. Lewa's conservation work attracts researchers from around the world. Sarah Haisul is an ecologist from the United States. She is doing microscopic and DNA analysis on the zebra droppings to see what it can tell her about the genetic diversity of Lewa's Grevy's population.
We drove out this morning to look for a herd of Grevies. We're looking to collect fecal samples. Yeah, what do you think? Right around here? That's number 2. Okay, so how about right here? Basically what we're doing is looking at how Grevies respond to their environment and how that interacts with genetic diversity to influence how healthy they are. The number of Grevies has declined by about 85% since the late 1970s, and the range has also contracted quite a bit. So the range used to spread across the entire Horn of Africa, and now they're only in an isolated portion of central and northern Kenya, also a few in Ethiopia. But with that decline, oftentimes you lose levels of genetic diversity. So we want to understand how that is influencing the population. This one's definitely baby. But sometimes you can tell how fresh it is by if it's still warm. So a bit disgusting, but you can touch it. And that should be enough sample to do, enough of the sample to do the analysis that we need.
As research at Lewa continues, the zebras beyond Lewa's border face even greater challenges. There is a simple, profound, and undeniable truth in conservation work. We are one of the greatest threats to wildlife species. In Kenya, where the Lewa Conservancy is based, the population doubles every 18 years. And so it's simple economics. The more people, the less space and resources there are for wildlife. It is a conundrum that conservationists have to factor into the decisions they make as they try to find practical solutions to saving species at risk. Conserving wildlife in Kenya is a collaborative effort. And in the battle to save the Grevy zebra, Lewa Conservancy works closely with the Northern Range Land Trust, the Grevy Zebra Trust, and Marwell Wildlife. Today, members of the NRT and Lewa are partnering with Marwell Wildlife on a Grevy's project. They're heading to Kenya's South Hor Valley to search out an isolated population of Grevy zebras. The goal? To attach radio tracking collars to several individuals to track their movements and better understand the pressures they face. The project is headed by Marwell's field biologist, Zeke Davidson. Zeke is a member of Kenya's National Grevy Zebra Steering Committee. He also specializes in issues of human-wildlife coexistence.
I'm very excited about what this information is going to mean to Grevy zebra conservation. These are incredibly important collars. They're going to tell us about a population that is unmonitored and has only been sort of anecdotally reported in the past. So we're hoping to reveal how they use the Hor Valley and which areas we need to focus on to keep this population as strong as it is and improving. Matthew is our point man.
Because the operation involves sedating and collaring animals, Lewa's head vet, Matthew Mutinda, will lead that part of the operation.
We can get a lot of water up there, but it's brackish. We're just taking bottled water for drinking. Yeah.
The team will endure several days of camping in a rather inhospitable place in near desert conditions.
That's our shower. I think I'll put it in my car. I've got 200 liters of aviation fuel on board in the trailer.
He's having a light plane fly out to meet them so he can do an aerial survey of the Grevy's range there.
I think our biggest challenge for this operation is going to be to find the animals in this terrain, even with an aircraft supporting us. The animals will move and shift through the bush a lot. Our biggest problem is going to be approaching these animals.
With such extreme temperatures and rough roads, getting there will be one of the biggest challenges.
The temperatures are high, there's a hot wind blowing every day, and it's a geothermic wind. It's a wind that's generated by the heat.
But as they arrive on the outskirts of this near desert, suddenly, a problem.
The shock mounting has snapped off.
One of the trucks breaks down, threatening the mission before it even begins. For Matthew, who is used to working on animals, this is a different beast entirely.
Okay, get me some oil. We should put some oil here.
You've got some brake here. When you push the pedal, there's nothing. We'll donate 20 cc's from every other vehicle's brake cylinder.
With a limited toolkit, Matthew has to improvise.
Thank goodness we had a vet at hand, eh? All these syringes.
Yes.
The goats are healthy and well, and they love this place. They can have it.
It could easily turn into a bad situation if they can't get this fixed.
That's the offending piece. And she's cracked right off the chassis, all the way down. So it's been broken for quite some time. Should be good.
With the expedition back on track, Zeke turns his attention back to the mission.
Grevy zebra are one of the few species left up here and surviving, and still thriving in a sense. It's a population that surprises everyone living in such a harsh place. It's amazing that they're here.
Hor Valley is home to a remote community of Samburu, who, just like the Grevy zebra, have adapted themselves to thrive in this region. To navigate this landscape, they will need help from the local Samburu community. Central to the community is the one place where it's easy to access water. Zeke and Matthew start their mission here.
There's only one place to get water, both wildlife and people. Without the presence of this water hole in this region, then we would have no wildlife.
This is a perfect example of how human activity is threatening wildlife. On the edge of the desert, this watering hole is a shared resource. The Grevies and other wildlife have been pushed off by the Samburu and their cattle.
They can only come here at night because during the day, this is what is happening.
This place has been stripped by hooves. There's not a blade of grass here. If you look back through here, it's just a highway for cattle.
While the Samburu respect wildlife, their cattle are the priority.
There is definitely conflict here. And that's why the Grevies have to drink at night.
This is a perfect example of the way human populations affect wildlife survival. In these conditions where water is a precious resource, the Samburu manage it carefully to make sure that they can feed their livestock. So making room for the zebras can be a tough sell.
The way the Grevy zebra herd and graze and drop their dung improves the soil condition, improves the graze, which improves his cattle condition. But that's a tenuous link to a guy who's struggling to find enough to feed his family. The community is filling one or two of these troughs at night for wildlife, for zebras. But what we need to try and do is make water security here a priority. We need to try and get some water set aside for wildlife. And that may mean some kind of intervention. It may mean putting in a well. It's just not enough water. That trough does not hold enough water for the number of zebra that come here every night to drink.
Despite the conflict, the Grevies have adapted well. They are able to modify their behavior to get the water when it's available, and they are equipped to make the most of the meager resources available to them.
Why are they in such good body condition when there's just absolutely nothing that's got any moisture in it at all? And part of the answer is here. These dry shrubs, I mean, you look at this, it's grey and really dry and brittle. But when you scratch off the surface, there's the green, and that's what they're eating. This is the dung of a youngster. Look how fine that is. And it's a really dense dung. It's got nothing left in it. They've used it well. And that's what's sustaining them. These guys, on a scale of 1 to 5, they've got a body condition of 4 at the end of the dry season. I mean, this is a good place for Grevy zebras.
This is really hard to make a living out of such a place. They really have to have some respect for that animal.
The quest to find the Grevies begins at first light.
That's a hard terrain for us. This is a great time for walking. We're looking at the footprints, and as per now, they indicate that they are on that side. We now know these guys are on this side.
With local Samburu joining the crew, the day begins and the hunt for the Grevies is on. The mission is to put radio monitoring collars on 4 Grevies.
We put this on so we know where the animal is in its environment. And that lets us know what habitats it's using, what resources are important to it. It's mounted on this webbing collar, which will in fact deteriorate and eventually drop off by itself. And it's just full of batteries with about a 3 to 5 year lifespan.
Matthew prepares his first tranquilizer dose.
We have a huge challenge that these Grevies are very, very sharp.
We're really challenged here to find these animals in this terrain. If you look into this bush, you'll see that it's just an impenetrable wall of thickets. It's literally needle in a haystack. What we've got to do is maximize our chances by going to open areas.
Yeah, like that is 52, but still we can get a shot there. You try to box them katikati. We need to have at least a distance of 50 meters for us to be able to get a shot. They are too clever. They just went the opposite way.
The Grevies, in fact, have good reason to want to avoid people, especially people with guns.
The guys around here, especially the Turkana side, they eat Grevies. and they're armed with guns. So Grevies might actually know what a gun is. That gun can kill.
With these animals refusing to cooperate, the crew makes the difficult decision to try to find another group.
So I think one of the best things we can do is go to one of these little hills.
We'll go to the road and head for a hill high ground.
Just scanning these plains, and I picked up a group of 5 zebras just beyond this open area. And they were moving in towards this dry riverbed that runs away from us.
Spotting Grevies from the hill is encouraging, but of little value for actually catching up with the animals.
This is why we need an airplane. Right now.
The view from the air reinforces just how desolate this area really is. They can see for hundreds of miles, but there is very little to report.
Because if this side is full of people, they might just go for the other one.
Kuna mtu ako na GPS hapa? Do we have any other zebras in the area?
Finally, they spot a herd.
Okay, we have the zebra visual and we have the vehicle visual.
Roger, that's good.
But as it turns out, the herd they see from the air is the same one they've already been chasing.
Do we have any other zebras in the area?
At the moment, we cannot see any others, just the 7 that you have in front of you.
The pilot sets the plane down just in time for a windstorm.
We've got 20 to 30 knot winds, and on the ground that means a lot of dust. The whole horizon is getting a bit hazy with the dust, and there's also the heat. Not far away from here I can actually see the capture vehicle moving through the bush just behind a group of Grevy zebra, which he's been dogging all day trying to get up to. So we're heading into a period of the day where darting is going to become more risky. We'll probably try not to put any animals at risk.
It's really tough. It's really tough. We chose a tough group and we pay for it.
So what we'll do now is we'll probably go back to base and wait out the heat of the day. Hopefully the winds will drop this evening and we can try again. Here comes a sandstorm. You can feel it between your teeth. Miserable living conditions. Crazy.
Yes, we'll come to the rescue.
The wind has died down, but Matthew shuts the operation down for the time being.
It's a very hot day and it's very hot environment. So sometimes if the temperature goes beyond a certain point, it's harm to the animal.
One Samburu will keep tabs on the herd so they can try again later. But so far, this mission hasn't even gotten off the ground. In the Hor Valley in northern Kenya, a team of researchers are on the trail of the rare Grevy zebra. It's later in the day, and they are making another attempt at attaching a tracking collar.
We just picked up one of the scouts who has been monitoring the movement of the zebras. This makes it really great for us so that we can find our target easily.
Sure enough, it doesn't take long to get back onto the trail.
Fresh yesterday. What gives me hope ni kuwa hii wanyama iko mahali. So we're trying to look for signs. Yeah. So we have found poo and we have found footprints.
Matthew and the crew track the animals down. Now it's a matter of getting close enough to the skittish animals to dart one of them.
It's really difficult. It's really difficult. The zebras are here. We are here. The collar is here, but they won't stop.
The uncooperative animals continue to frustrate Matthew and the team. It's day 3 of their time in Kenya's South Pore Valley, and they have yet to collar a single animal. They're on the trail of yet another group. This time, Matthew is determined not to let them get away. He decides to attempt a long shot.
I try to measure because I know what the gun does. Okay. Yeah, we have had a successful hit. Okay, maji hiyo 20 liter.
In this heat, watering the animal down is priority 1.
The temperature is really hot, so you have to be really monitored. Sawa. There you go.
With the first Grevy collar finally in place, Matthew collects a blood sample. They check the fitness of the zebra thoroughly. The collar will be active for 5 years, so they want to make sure that they've picked a healthy candidate.
Okay. Achilia kidogo. Achilia sumbiri. Achilia.
The antidote administered, the animal should wake up within seconds. With one animal collared, the crew's mission is back on track. But the task has proved more difficult than planned.
$73.
A frustrating late-day miss, and now the animals will be even more spooked.
So, yeah, the animal is far, so that went under the animal. Wow, we're gonna try again, Martin. We think we have a chance.
Time is running out. Once the sun hits horizon, this mission will be over. They need to place one more collar to ensure that they get enough data.
Okay. Let me try one more. Very kidogo.
Will he make the impossible shot? Or will it be the final defeat for this ambitious project?
Some 5-8 minutes, we should be able to see some sun.
The crew is elated, but now it's crunch time. If the zebra escapes in darkness, they will never find him. time is of the essence. These are small steps in a much larger battle. The Grevy zebra population has declined more than 50% in less than 20 years.
That's very critical.
The Grevy is a beautiful animal. Each one is unique. The stripes on their rump are as individual as human fingerprints. And now, conscious effort is needed to make sure those are not erased forever.
Well, we gave it our best shot, and we got 2 zebras. You're going to have to be happy with that for now.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Thanks, Zeke.
Okay.
Yes,
George.
yes. That's a tough mission.
Thanks,
but I'm
guys.
lucky we got to. Okay. Thank you.
It is human activity that poses the greatest threat to their survival. And now it seems that conscious human protection is the only thing that can save them.